minimum wage to kick off this month of August. So how does this development address allegations of misplaced priority, issue of public mistrust and poor distribution of wealth levied against this administration?
Pardon? I couldn't get you. Public mistrust of what?
Did you get that question?
Yeah, repeat it again, sorry.
All right.
I'm having a glitch around here.
Okay, so I said it's very impressive to hear that Governor Fintiri is the first governor in the Northeast to approve the payment of 70,000 naira as new minimum wage, and because it's actually going to kick off this month. So how does this development address allegations of misplaced priority, issue of public mistrust and poor distribution of wealth levied against this administration?
Yeah, most precisely by who? I guess you must be making speculations around what the Sahara reporters got there. But let me just be quick to let you know that most sincerely that was a frivolous allegation. And if you really want to come to a place where budgets are given and implementations are done rightly, you know, I assure you Adamawa State is one place. If you step into Adamawa State and you see the infrastructure development and things moving on, and even the confidence, and the fact that Ahmadu Fintiri is one governor that has timely paid his salaries since he came. You know, the moment it is 20th, every civil servant receives his salary. And that has given enough confidence, you know, in the administration. You know, in addition to the fact that the number of some of these things, they're quite impressive. You know, the school infrastructure is going on. And when you come in 21 of the local governments, there are model schools being built. And they've sprouted well, and they are almost being finished. And I wonder where some of these people get their own allegations to say that nothing is being done really to make it up, or there is erosion of confidence, public trust in Adamawa State. I think in Adamawa State, if you have to wait the mood, sincerely, the people out there are happy about what is happening because they can move and tell you that we've seen this progression from one infrastructure to the other one being finished timely. And in that kind of an environment, it will be extremely difficult, except somebody who wants to speculate, to say that things are not moving on right. Things have been right, and you have to be on ground to see exactly what that is. You know, leave speculators around that talk about frivolities that are not sincere. I know they talk about what budgets are, but not the implementation. The implementation is something else. But I tell you that in Adamawa State, the process is quite transparent and virtually everything is taking shape. And if you want any information to do with that, you get it handy on the internet. So to my mind, it's not an allegation that we have to take and think that it's something serious to worry about, because the man is already moving and he's doing what is expected of him.
All right. The governor has shown some level of commitment to sports development in the state. I'm very curious. What drives this passion?
Well, you know, he's somebody that we can say is young. And being a sportsman himself, you know, he plays football and has been that kind of a person. And he's a sports enthusiast. And I think he knows that sports development just goes beyond people just playing. But he's also putting in the stadium in order, spending good enough money to ensure that we have one of the best in the Northeast zone. So if you go there, the work is moving on. It's almost hitting 50% completion, and virtually everything is on there. It's an interesting environment that when it is evening time, you move to corners, you see young people playing football, and he also moved around to see exactly what that is. And I believe that is what inspired him to think of doing that in essence. And that he has done it. So the Yola Stadium, the Jubeta Stadium, is coming up very strong and good. And if you have a picture of what it is like, definitely you'll get to understand that if care is not taken, we'll brag about having the best in northern Nigeria.
So Adamawa State has vast arable land for agriculture, waterfalls and landscape and solid minerals. What is government doing to incentivize farmers in Adamawa State in order to boost food production, especially at this very critical time?
Yeah, most recently, he's doing something very amazing. That is on the aspect of food security, more especially. He has moved to local governments and have acquired, arable land, and they are being cleared and prepared for government engagement to do farming at a more practical level. So that in itself, we're looking at the next year, as a year that is going to be a year of bumper. And when you come back to what he has done in terms of giving farmers incentives, it's amazing. I cannot tell you, but he has done his own best to bring in fertilizers, and fertilizer distribution to farmers is ongoing. And the issues of seeds are also being tackled. And he has set up a committee which is working at least to ensure that that is done, and virtually every part is reached with it. Now, when you go to the agricultural desk there, he has very commendable experts, they're collaborating with good institutions, at least to ensure that something is done about, information on agriculture, particularly soil preparation and crop arrangement, in such a way that they can work out to get very fantastic yields. So he's not leaving every sector, virtually every aspect is being met, and like his own central policy says that everything is to be done and everything will not be just left. So every sector is being taught, and agriculture, I assure you, is receiving the highest and the best boost.
Let's stay on this, Doctor. And I would like us to be very specific here. This is about the approval for the construction of a 7,800 capacity metric tons warehouse in the government house. I mean, the aim is to secure food items and valuables. So at what stage is that project as we speak? And I'd also like you to talk to us about the impact on food availability and affordability in Adamawa State.
Well, Adamawa State, like any other state in the Federation, is susceptible to quite a number of things. But more especially, we have a straight long border with Cameroon and a lot of smuggling activities going on. And any national policy, for instance, affects exactly what happens in our own state more drastically. Now you devalue the naira, the dollar gets higher. We are surrounded by French-speaking countries that will just print more money and come in and pick virtually everything. That is happening at an alarming rate in our own state. Stretches like Mubi, Madagali, Michika, Pofore, and even some local government. We have that, if not because the state is strong enough, at least, and the production level is high enough to sustain. You would have had that something drastic is happening there. But that is not it. But I assure you, now you've spoken about an important aspect, which is to do with if you boost agriculture and you are able to make bumper yield, you have to learn to store it in such a way that you can also credibly take it to the market for people to have access to it. And that is on the mind of this particular government. And they've done a lot, in not only securing one big store, in the government house of Yola, the issues. If you leave them at the outskirts, if there's anything, people go in there and blow it, criminals do whatever it is. But not in there, not only that one that is in the government house, but there are quite a number of them sprouting, at zonal level and at local governments, good enough at least for that food storage thing. So what I'm excited about is what really he's doing, with agricultural extension officers, giving them the opportunity and getting them trained good enough to move out and tell people what to do, at least as far as farming is concerned. And when you do the planting and you do the harvesting, the next thing is how to store it and perhaps get the business out of it. I assure you that by the time you come close to the Ministry of Agri in Adamawa State, you're going to find that they're very busy engaging farmers at all levels, engaging experts at all levels, and trying to put together what it takes at least to bring food security. All
right, Doctor, I hope we can speak to this issue in 1 minute, because concerned stakeholders have raised allegation of multiple taxes on foodstuff and livestock in Adamawa State, though government had denied that at a time. And on the other hand, there are those who are saying one of the major reasons for lack of critical infrastructure and cause of high debt profile in Adamawa State is because people do not pay tax. So what more is government doing to generate more to attain self-sufficiency in the state?
Yeah, I think all those are my allegations. I will give you on good record that if there is a state with credible records of whatever that is being done with finances, you want to get a good example, come to our state. And it is also not right to say that there are taxes on food and whatever. I think in Adamawa State, almost everybody is getting it nearly free. But when they get their own revenues, have to do with the prudence that is given to the accounting system, blocking ends that are open, and trying to get things that are supposed to be due, at least good enough for the government to have enough. If you check our revenue profile, we are not doing bad in Adamawa State. And that is perhaps the success of how the man is running his projects. If you want me to let you understand his secret,
all right,
I will not be willing to do that, except you come to buy or to steal that particular information to know.
All right, we'll send our reporter.
Which is not necessarily on debt,
Dr.
but what he's also
thank
doing
you.
to generate and then to do infrastructure. Thank you very much.
We're out of time. We'll definitely send our reporter to confirm all of these you said on the program tonight. Thank you so much for speaking with us, Dr. John Gamsa, Special Advisor to the Governor of Adamawa State on Communication and Strategy. Thank you so much for speaking with us tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
And thank you for watching, everyone. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at midnight. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook,